You go. All right, welcome everyone to our second virtual happy hour. Today we're going to be talking about multicultural and international groups and also some affinity groups. Affinity groups we call groups that are connected to the ideas of multiculturalism. A lot of these groups are tied with our Office of Multicultural Student Affairs, so we'll touch on some of them as well. So I'm going to share screen with you for just a second so you can see what I'm seeing. Okay, on our list of kind of things that we're going to go over today are some of the multicultural and international group opportunities. We do have an Office of Multicultural Student Affairs, and they are here to support a lot of student organizations on campus. Some of the groups that are listed in this session include Allianza, Black Student Union, Disability Advocacy Group, Global Shepherd Students, our Gender Sexuality Alliance, Multicultural Leadership Team, Pan-African Student Union, and the Study Abroad Club. So these are some of the groups that are out there that deal with international and multicultural identities on campus. They're not solely the only ones. There are an awful lot of groups out there that are talking about culture and diversity, but these are some of the ones that we're highlighting, particularly in this session. And I want to also share with you, I'm going to stop share for a second and switch gears to remind you that if you have not checked out groups on RAMPulse, all of the student organizations can be found there. And to get to RAMPulse, it's super easy. I'm going to walk you through it. When you go to our Shepherd homepage, right here, you click on this little top button. This is the fastest way to get you there, is go straight to this top bar and hit RAMPulse. And then you're going to see your whole screen come up. You log in just like you do for Sakai. And inside you're going to see organizations. And when you click on that, you'll get a whole list and you can read about them, find out more. For example, if I wanted to know more about Black Student Union, I just start typing it in, it shows up, I click on it, and you can learn about the organization here. If you wanted to message them or join the group, there's usually, I'm already a member, so it doesn't show me the button, but it says join organization, and you just click on that blue button and it'll send a request to join the group. So that's a pretty easy one to do. It also gives you contact information for some of their officers. So you can reach out, like if I wanted to reach out to Jatalia, I can just click on this and it'll send an email out to her. So it's kind of a cool tool for us to be able to do this. So that gives you a little overview. And don't forget that all of the events that are upcoming show up on your RAMPulse landing page as well. So when I want to see what's happening, it's really easy because all I have to do is scroll through all of the events that are coming up. And you have an opportunity to sort of learn and click on those and find out more information. So that's a basic little tutorial. RAMPulse is pretty easy. It's our one-stop shop where you can learn about groups. Right now, a lot of groups didn't meet the first week of school, so they're just getting their legs under them and trying to get started. So if you don't see a ton of events under, like I noticed BSU doesn't have their meetings up yet, it's coming. It's just that some of them let them get adjusted to class before they say, let's have our first meeting. So that's the story on RAMPulse. That's my first little pitch. I want to toss off, I think I'm going to start first by letting Juliet be our first speaker today. She's going to give you a brief overview of Global Shepherd Students, what that organization does, how you can get involved with them. And then she may also address a little bit international student services and what happens over there and where they're located. Because sometimes people don't know that we have a whole area in Gardner Hall that's dedicated to a lot of different offices and services. So if you haven't been over that way before, she'll share that with you too.
Hey, hi, I'm Juliet. I'm currently the president of GSS, Global Shepherd Students. Global Shepherd Students, it's basically an organization to like connect international students learn more about your cultures and about your country and just share ideas and information. And we try to put up certain events related to different countries. We have sometimes we have like panels and invite ambassadors to come over and give talks. We also try to have events relating to specific countries. Like the last event we just had was the Chinese Valentine's Day. So we try to just have different events related to different countries. Have visits. We go to high schools, have high school visits. And so far for this semester, we haven't really put up a lot of events yet, but we plan to. Yeah, and the international affairs is more about international students too, but you basically like have so far I don't know a lot, but you can definitely meet Sariki or Mrs. Louise to like get more information. But it's just for international students. You can come in. There's a lounge. You can come in and just meet up with other international students and get to meet everyone, get more information. And I know there's a scholarship program too, so you can find out more about that. And they're located in the Gardner Hall, so you can definitely stop by and get more information on that.
Thank you so much, Juliet. And I know in Gardner, sometimes Gardner is a strange building because we have a lot of different entrances and they take us very different places. So if you're coming to Gardner Hall, if you're looking at the side of the building as you walk up from the main campus, you'll see the wellness centers right in front of you, which is the side door. You'll see the big sign that sends everyone to financial aid, which goes to the back of the building. But then if you keep walking up the sidewalk toward the circle where the amphitheater is, that front door has a whole bunch of flags in front of it. And it's because when you first walk into that door of Gardner, that's the one you want to go into. That's the Veterans Center is in the lobby right there. So we have a vet center that's located there. And then if you go up the little steps right in front of you and sort of to your right, you'll see the international office. And so Dr. Lois Jarman is there. Sariki Diabate is there. He's down the hallway. And there's a lounge that's great so that students have a space that they can gather, hang out, do homework, get resources while they're there. So it's a nice little space. It's a pretty cool setup. Also in Gardner, we now have an affinity group room that's going to be kind of like a resource meeting space that's down the hallway to the right, past Sariki's office, all the way at the end of the hallway. On the opposite direction, if you were to go to the left, you're going to find the office that's now Dr. Howard Bostick's office, and they're creating a lounge space, I think, that's going to be open to students and accessible for them there as well. And that's a lot of affinity group sort of featured spaces. So we're going to have a lot of spaces that are really about supporting student groups and affinity groups that are within this organization. So I'm very excited that that kind of has been developing over time. The last office that I can think of, the other two that are in that space in Gardner, if you go down the hallway, you're going to find the Center for Appalachian Studies and Communities, which is Dr. Sylvia Shervitt's space. And then also, I believe cooperative education is still there at the end of that hallway as well, with Joe Jefferson. So there's a lot of resources in Gardner that people often don't even know are there. So just so you're aware, that's what's going on. And I see Fidella is coming in, which is great because Fidella works with that office as well. So if you have any questions about it, feel free while we're presenting, if something strikes you, to utilize the chat feature. And if you want to put anything in the chat, feel free, and we'll be sure that we answer your questions and get back to you on it. All right, so from there, I would like to toss over to Multicultural Leadership Team. And I don't know which student is going to be the primary speaker. I'm looking at Kayla in my screen, and she has a very nice smiley face. So she's right beside me. So I'm going to toss to Kayla and be like, do you want to introduce what MLT does? And then maybe another member of Multicultural Leadership Team would address what Multicultural Student Affairs does.
Alrighty. Hi, my name is Kayla. I'm a part of the Multicultural Leadership Team. What it basically is a diverse group where we not only help each other become leaders, but we talk about social issues as far as women's rights, LGBTQ, immigration laws, and things of that nature, where we basically not only help each other become leaders, and we also do volunteer work where it helps us build our communication skills and helps our leadership skills as well. We are basically, as a group, looking for leaders. What can you do to contribute to our group? What leadership qualities do you have? And what makes you stand out from others? And with all these leadership qualities, we can help one another with building blocks to help you become not only a better shepherd student, but to network as well through your volunteer hours as such, and you can also bring that great energy on campus and help MLT as a great group. So yeah.
That's awesome. And so, can someone answer how do you become a member of Multicultural Leadership Team? And someone told me that there might be scholarship money attached to that program.
Yes, you can fill out the application. If I share my screen, I can show you what the application looks like.
I might have to give you screen share. It might take a second.
Mhm.
There you go. Now you have the power.
Alrighty.
And while you are doing that, anybody else who is part of the Multicultural Leadership Team want to address what MSA may do as well?
Sure, I can do that. So, Multicultural Student Affairs is it's the group of shepherd that presides over people like us. So ours is like a student group. MSA is people that work for Shepherd, such as Crystal Smiles Tharp or
Mhm.
Annie Lewin. So they provide assistance to students across campus for multiple things. Uh, they try to support students the best they can, and they do help represent all the student unions to the best of their ability, like Multicultural Student Affairs, since we're directly under Crystal, so she comes to our meetings and presides for us. Since we help her, we also try to help the other affinity groups with their events, and we try to show up as much as possible, and we hope that they would do the same for us. But they traditionally, they support all underrepresented students, which includes people of color, any sexual orientation, transgender students, etc. So they would hope that they would feel comfortable and welcome talking to either of them because they can help and they are very willing to.
And
If
they
I didn't
also
hit anything
sponsor
on them.
events too. Multicultural Student Affairs will sometimes have programming and things that they sponsor as well. And unlike their office is the only one that is not found in Gardner. It is in the lower level here in the Student Center, which might be a little odd to find. You see the spiral staircases that go up into the front of the Student Center. They actually are under on the ground floor down by the SGA office, and the program board graduate assistant office is down there. So if you come into the main doors of the Student Center here on the left side, oh no, you don't. You go all the way around because now we have a new traffic pattern. Scratch that. So you go through the main way, like through the Ram's Den, and you come out as if you're headed out of the building and go down the stairwell. You'll find it right there in that annex. So I'll get used to this new flow of traffic eventually, but giving directions is a little harder. So all right, Kayla, it is all yours.
All right, thank you. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? Okay.
You are good.
So as far as to get to here, what I did, I basically typed in the multicultural leadership team and then type Shepherd University, and it would take you to like the first link, I believe. And so once you get to our homepage, you will see what we're about. You'll see our mission statement, our vision, and the scholarship. It's for full-time students, undergrad, and degree seeking. And what the scholarship does, it basically gives us a little bit more about you and any leadership qualities that you have, and what are you willing to, bring to the table to us as a whole. And for the scholarship, it is here. It's basically where it tells you a little bit more about us and how you can join. As far as GPA, 2.5 minimum. Um, you would need to at least have, I believe, 45 community service hours throughout the whole entire semester, and it's renewable up to all 4 years. And as far as the scholarship goes, we pay for roughly up to 75% of your tuition, which is good for students who would need help with financial aid costs and things like that. So you would, have the basics of putting in your name, your address, your ID. For other students who are returning, of course, you would have to set up an PowerPoint slide as to things that you've learned. For students who are coming in, it would be like a regular essay to basically say, why do you deserve this, and things of that nature, and different questions as well. But the main goal is us trying to get to know you more and things like that. So yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So that gives you a little taste of some opportunities. And I believe that International Student Affairs may also have some scholarship money available too. Is that correct, Juliet?
I really don't know much about it, but I think so. Or I think they're kind of linked to MLT, but I am not
Okay.
so.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you, guys. All right, I would like to toss over. I saw Fidella came in the room. Fidella, do you have the ability to talk? Just making sure you.
Yes, I can talk.
So I wanted to ask you, would you talk a little bit about Allianza?
So Allianza is the Hispanic student organization on campus. We started Allianza back in 2000. Was it 2012? I think, I don't remember. It was a long time ago, 2014 or something like that. And we pretty much did a lot of events to showcase the Hispanic culture. We had the Taste of Latin Culture, so it was a whole day, an event that had food from the Hispanic culture, music, dancing, things like that. Alianza hasn't really been active since last year, I believe. And there is still a couple of members still part of it, but we don't really have officers. So if
So
anybody,
this is your moment.
If anybody is interested in being president of Alianza, just let us know and we can make that happen. Or if you want to be part of the officers for Alianza.
So great leadership opportunity available for new students, particularly if you want to jump right in and kickstart an organization. And the good news is you've got people like Fidella that are there to help you. They'll help advise and support you through that process as well as the Office of Multicultural Student Affairs. So I'm excited that that is a possibility for you. Next, I'm going to toss over to, let's see, who else do I have there? Oh, study abroad. Let's talk with you, Lily.
You almost forgot about me.
Never.
So I'm Lily. I'm the current president of Study Abroad. We're a club that focuses on encouraging students to study abroad at Shepherd, and as well as educating on the opportunities and like advantages there are to studying abroad. We're open to anyone who wants to study abroad, who has studied abroad, whether with Shepherd or outside of, or if you're just sort of interested in what studying abroad is and what are the benefits. You don't even have to want to study abroad yet. It is a very big undertaking to do. We sort of talk about the programs. We have lots of programs at Shepherd and they can be hard to navigate. So we talk about navigating those programs and choosing what would fit best for you with your degree and credits wise. We also talk about once you get in country, things like culture shock, adjusting, and the like, especially if we have someone who's been to the country you've been to, we try to connect you so you can get a little feel ahead of time. And then we also have people who come back. We talk about what it's like coming back and things you can do after you come back. For example, last semester we had some people who had gone abroad present in our meetings talking about what they had done to prepare, what were the hardest things that happened both before and after and during, and the best parts. So that's a lot of what we do. Though there aren't scholarships directly related with the club, the study abroad office, which we work with directly, has scholarships, and as well as all the programs that work with the study abroad office for that, they also have scholarships that they give out as well. And also to, same as Allianza, we have exec positions up. Currently, I'm the president. I'm the only one. So if anyone wants possibly be vice president, secretary, or treasurer, contact me.
We're loaded with leadership opportunities right here. Yeah. Love it.
Very true.
Thank you so much, Lily. Okay, I'm going to ask, is there anyone in the room who would like to speak on behalf of Disability Advocacy Group or Black Student Union or Gender and Sexuality Alliance? Okay, if not, I will be your spokesperson, and I can tell you a little bit about all of them because I work with all clubs and organizations on campus. And I can tell you, I know BSU, Black Student Union, has usually weekly meetings, and their meetings are partly like a little bit of business, but then usually there are a lot of conversation and focusing on issues that are current events. They often also will plan activities or programs like the other groups we've been talking about that raise awareness or are open forums or dialogue sessions. And our BSU groups have been they've changed every year. They're a little bit different in flavor, what they're focused on, what kinds of things that they're doing. But I'm really excited because the membership that was part of that group last year, we had some really outstanding leaders who are coming back. So I'm excited that we have an opportunity to sort of capitalize on that and see those programs grow. If you are interested in BSU, don't hesitate to request to join the group on Rampulse, and once their meetings should be coming up soon. They haven't submitted the regular meeting time, I think, because they're trying to figure out what works on everybody's schedules the best. But most of our meetings this semester are going to be virtual, and so it'll make it easy no matter where you are. If you're a commuter, if you're a resident, you should be able to sort of check in and find out more about each of those groups. And BSU is open, even though it says Black Student Union in the title, it does not mean you have to be a Black student to join BSU. BSU is open to everyone, and it has a pretty diverse range of students. So it's all about students who are interested in social justice and equity. It's really a pretty welcoming environment. So if you would like to participate, don't hesitate to reach out and ask how you can get involved with them. The other groups that I'm going to touch on are the Disability Advocacy Group. And Disability Advocacy Group was formed pretty recently And its goal, it's again, kind of like BSU, it is not just for students that have a disability. DAG is really set up as an advocacy, awareness, allyship group as well. So it brings up issues to try and educate the greater population. One of the things that the president, Toby Spates, is the president of the group, and Toby shared with us that I was really unaware of until he brought it to my attention, that the largest minority in the world are people with disabilities, because they're often unseen, unnoticed, because disabilities can be either visible or invisible. So they're here to sort of support students, but also create educational opportunities for people to start to recognize how they can be more inclusive, how they can build events that are more accepting and open to all people, and available to all people, because that's something that I think we really have benefited from, is having DAG's voice as part of the conversation, even for Shepherd to say, hey, are you aware that these buildings, like, I have no easy way to get into this building? And so helping us to kind of see beyond what our own abilities are and to recognize those has been really useful. So DAG is very open to new members. They're super excited to have new students come on board and become part of this. And so some of it's going to be advocacy and ally work, and they do have regular meetings as well. So that's the news on them. The other group that's really looking for some new leadership, because we have a lot of people who graduated out of this group, is the Gender Sexuality Alliance, or GSA. And the Gender Sexuality Alliance is really here as a support group for LGBTQA plus students, as well as an allyship group. So they are planning events and having meetings to talk about issues as well that are really focused on LGBTQ identity culture and issues that might be current events that are affecting people. So some of the things they also are going to partner with is often they'll sponsor some programs that are awareness raising programs as well. They have partnered with other organizations on campus to sponsor events. That's kind of their focus. And so if you are new to Shepherd, feel free to sort of join that group on Rampulse to get more information and find out how you can get involved with them as well. And again, Multicultural Student Affairs is the support system for a lot of these affinity groups. So if you're having trouble getting a response from someone on Rampulse, they're not answering you immediately, you can always reach out to the MSA office and they'll get you connected with the right people. So that's another opportunity. Do you all have any questions that you would like to share?
I had a question for Juliet.
Go for it.
Are there any requirements for the group?
No, there are no requirements. We're welcome to everyone. And you don't have to be from a different country. You can just come and also meet people from different countries. No requirements.
What are like the meeting times?
For this semester, we haven't really decided because now everything is virtual, so we haven't really decided. And last semester, our meetings were kind of shaky because no one was really showing up, even though we have a lot of members online. So this semester, we haven't decided yet, but we'll send out when we decide.
Okay. Are you from a different country?
Oh, yes, I'm from Nigeria.
Oh, nice. I'm from Jamaica.
Oh.
And you had Ola get really excited there for a minute. Olamide, what was your shout out?
Yeah, he's Nigerian too.
I'm Nigerian, so.
I was glad to see you got excited for a second there. It's like, cool. Any other questions that you all have? Anything we haven't covered that you'd like to know more about?
I just have like a generic question. For joining a group, we hit the join button, but do we also have to send an email to the group as well?
That's a really good question. So when you hit the join button, it's telling the person who's the administrator or the primary contact, it'll let them know that someone would like to join their group. And it's kind of just a, hey, I'd like to be part of your RAM Pulse group so I can see what's happening when you post information. But I would recommend shooting an email to, just because that is that personal connection, to be like, hey, not only do I want to see what's on your page, I really would like to get involved. Let me know how I can get involved in this thing. And I am sure that these folks will be really quick to be like, yes, we would love to share with you information and get you involved.
I have a question about the Black Student Union.
Yeah, go ahead,
Do you
Cindy.
have any offices open? And
I am not sure if they had their elections fully last spring, because when things went virtual, some groups wanted to wait until the fall before they put new officers in, just to give people an opportunity. And I think also because in their heads they were thinking, we're going to be done with this by like June and it'll be over and we can just move on. And clearly this is a longer slog than we thought it was going to be. So I think that they do have at least one position that's open, and there might be more. I would reach out to them and find out, what their needs are, because right now I think activating is going to be like this. If there's ever a time, like this is the time for BSU to step up and get really active again. So I would encourage you to reach out if you're interested in helping work with the group and support them. 100% do it.
Thank you.
Anyone else have any other questions? Those are great questions, y'all. If not, I just want to say thank you so much for coming. Thank you to our speakers. You all did a fantastic job. I love having you here. Thanks for sharing all your good energy and all the good things that you do for Shepherd. And if you ever need help, feel free to reach out, or you can always reach out to me, Rachel Meads, and my email is just rmeads@shepherd.edu, and I'm really happy to connect you to the resources that you need, because that's sort of what I do. I'm an air traffic controller and I am the connector. But I try to put people in connection with other opportunities that are out there. So you all, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We have other involvement happy hours over the course of the weekend about specific topics, other types of groups. Feel free to drop in anytime.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
See you, Rachel.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks, Rosa.
Thank you. Bye.